Yo, what is up guys? It is Samool back again with another Epic 7 video for you guys today. And today we're going to be talking about how to build your Sigret. Now Sigret is probably one of the first units that you've gotten in the game from your selective summon because she is the best selective summon unit in the game by far. And if you guys haven't already gotten her, then there's a chance to get her again because we have an event running where you can choose from Sigret, Vivian, and Sermia because those are the main units used for Golem, Wyvern, and Banshee. And they're also going to give you Mulgora to enhance them and also give you Daydream Jokers to use them right away. Smilegets using this event to actually help new players and progress into hunts very quickly by giving you a choice of one of the best hunt units in the game. So yeah, if you didn't get Sigret from the selective summon, then I really recommend getting Sigret from this event because she's pretty much required for Wyvern one-shot unless you're using like a Rem, and also she's very good for Wyvern normal teams. Now you can also argue that you can also get Vivian because Vivian helps in Banshee one-shot, but I personally recommend Sigret. Now before we get started in the video guys, if you guys aren't already subscribed to my channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button to get instant updates when I have videos like this released. We're going to be talking about Sigret, Sermia, and Vivian because those are all the featured units. And if you guys want to see those videos right when they release, make sure you hit that subscribe button. So that being said, let's get started with the video. So Sigret, why is she very good? Well, if we go over her skills, you'll see why. We'll talk about her PvE and PvP applications, but keep in mind she's mostly going to be a PvE unit. So her S3 is going to be a single target attack. This does penetration defense, and you'll see that for every debuff on the enemy, it'll go up by 10%, capping at 100. So this does a lot of damage. So on Wyvern, since Wyvern is very slow and you have a lot of units to take turns to debuff the boss, a lot of the times this will be like a 60%, 70%, 80%, or even more penetration. So this can do up to like 200k damage on the boss if your Sigret is built well enough. Mostly you'll see that on Wyvern one-shot teams, but in the case that you're running a Wyvern non-one-shot team, if your Sigret's built strong enough with a rage set, she can do a lot of damage. Now this also does extinction, which is mostly for PvP, which will make it so the enemy can't revive when it dies to this. So this will be very good on like Arbiter Vildreds and anything that can revive in PvP. Now, the main reason why you would use Sigret in PvP is because of this extinct against like Arbiter Vildreds, but you don't really see Arbiter Vildreds nowadays, so she's not as good. And to make her work, you kind of need like someone to push her up because you can't really build her on high speed. You need like an auxiliary lots, A-lots, ML lots to push her up with S2, and then she can one-shot. Next we have her S2. So her S2 is going to be a single target attack that has a 100% chance to put unhealable and bleeding. Both work on Wyvern, and when the enemy's health is less than 50% after the attack, you will actually activate Sever as an extra attack with a 100% chance of inflicting bleeding. And Sever is basically her S1. So yeah, this has a lot of debuffs. This makes it so you have basically 3 debuff potential on your S2, and also you can soul burn this for PvP to get an extra turn. So what most people will do actually is they'll S2 soul burn in PvP with A-lots. A-lots can hold Tagahells, and then you S3 right after to one-shot another unit. So you could basically one-shot 2 units. It's very good in arena offense in my opinion, but everywhere else it's not that great. It's also good in like Guild Wars offense. In World Arena it's not that good because Sigret is very reliant on specific units to make herself work. So besides like Guild Wars offense and arena offense with auxiliary lots, you won't really be using Sigret in PvP that much. But yeah, very good, very good for Wyvern. Next we have her S1. So this makes her this is the reason why she's a very good debuffer for Wyvern. So you'll see that her S1 has a 50% chance each of inflicting 2 bleeding effects for 2 turns. Basically, if you add that up, it's 100%. Now I know it doesn't work like that, but you basically have a very good chance on every S1 to land at least 1 bleed. And you'll see that from her S2, you have 3 bleeds, or not 3 bleeds, 3 debuffs you can land, and her S3 synergizes with these debuffs to do more damage. So you can see why I say that Sigret is a very strong single target DPS because she utilizes her debuffs very well with her S3. And also her S1 and S2 do pretty good damage, right? Because her S2 can do 2 hits. And she's also a very good debuffer because of her S1 and her S2 applying a lot of debuffs. So this makes her a very powerful Wyvern unit, although you won't really use her anywhere outside of Wyvern in my opinion. So yeah, what artifact and what exclusive equipment do you want to run? So exclusive equipment, so if you're running a one-shot team, you're going to want the Sever damage because you don't really care about the bleeds. But if you are not running a one-shot comp, then you really want this one. The one to increase the chance of inflicting bleeding when using Sever, because this makes it so that you have 2 70% chances on your S1 to land a bleed, so it makes it very good. She can basically solo debuff the boss. The only thing is she doesn't have a defense break, so you'll need to bring like a Furious with her to compensate. Artifact, you guys probably already know, Daydream Joker. Now you can run like her own artifact, Cradle of Life, or Junkyard Dog for more debuffs, but honestly you don't need it because Sigret already has so many, and Daydream Joker will increase her damage significantly, so make sure you run this on at plus 30 on her for sure. Now what about Set? So Set is a very hard question to answer because it depends on what tank you're running or what units you're running. If you're running General Purges and Mewy, you can run her on like a crit damage set or attack set or a rage set like I have here and aim for like 40-ish speed and you'll be fine. If you're running her with like Angelica, Furious, and like Alexa, so no Mewy, no General Purges to CR push, then you're going to want to run her on speed set and try to get her to like 196, 197 speed. All meanwhile, you want to make sure she has 65% effectiveness, especially if you're not running her in a one-shot comp, so she can land her debuffs. And then the rest will go into crit damage, crit chance attack, right? Whatever you need. If you're running Furious, you only need 30% crit chance, or 35% crit chance. If you're not, you need 85. And then the rest goes into crit damage, and attack should be your last priority. So yeah, I'm running her on Rage set because I have her on a one-shot comp. So you'll see that for one-shot, you really want a Rage set because it lowers your gear requirements. You can run her on crit damage set or attack set even, but you need crazy stats on it. So that's why I opted for Rage set, because my Rage set gear is not even that great. And it makes her just super strong in both one-shot Wyvern and also normal Wyvern. In normal Wyvern, if you're running General Purchase or Mewy and you have a Rage set, she'll do a lot of damage, makes her very strong. Her S3 will do like at least half of the boss's HP if he's defense broken. So very powerful unit in that regard. Now for Awakenings, guys, you definitely want a 6-star Awakener because if I am not wrong, I think her last Awakening is crit damage, which will be your main source of damage for Wyvern, because this is what Daydream Joker scales also off of. So make sure you 6-star Awakener ASAP, makes her very powerful. Now let's talk about her Molagora. Actually, let's talk about her imprints. So yeah, her imprints are pretty nice. You'll see that she has attack percent, right? Imprint concentration is also attack percent for herself. The only thing is, you don't use her in PvP, so it doesn't really matter too much. In fact, most of the time, you're going to want to use it on, oh, I did not mean to do that, on Operator Sigret, because as you can see, Operator Sigret's the same thing, but she's very strong in PvP. Not very strong, but she's used in PvP, so that's why I recommend using your imprints, not for Blue Sigret, but for Operator Sigret once you get her. Now, let's talk about Molagoras. So yeah, just plus 15 everything, guys. So you want all the bleeding effects, right? And you also want all the damage because she's very strong, does a lot of damage. But if you want to be very what's it called? Conservative with your Molagora, then I'd say go for the cooldown, plus 3 on S3, go for plus 4 on S2, and then plus 4 on S1. But just like keep in mind, you're missing out on a lot of damage by doing that. You're missing out on a flat 15% on all of her skills. So I really recommend plus 15ing her. You won't regret it. She is very strong for early game Wyvern, and you'll use her in Wyvern one-shot in late game as well. So yeah, that's pretty much it for Sigret and basically how you want to build her. Basically, there's a lot of builds, right? Because it really depends on what you're running for your Wyvern team. But just to recap, right, for sets, I like speed set in general if you're not running Mewy or General Purges. If you are running those two units, then I would recommend attack set, rage set, or crit damage set. And you want to make sure that you are at 100% crit chance. You can be 85% actually for Wyvern, and if you're running Furious, you can be at 35%. And then the rest goes into, you know, effectiveness, like 65%. You want to make sure you hit as well so you can land your debuffs. You also want like at least 140 speed with Mewy and G-Purge. And then the rest goes into crit damage, right? Attack should be your last priority. I hope this video helped you out, guys. And if you guys want to see more of these how to build videos for very common free-to-play units, then let me know in the comments down below what you guys want to see next, and also hit that like button as well. And if you guys aren't already following my Instagram, make sure you guys follow me on Instagram, because, you know, I just release a lot of stories and posts about what I'm doing in my regular life. If you guys are wondering, hey, what is Mr. Content Man doing, then you can always just check my Instagram, and it helps me out a lot as well. So I'll see you guys next video, and thanks for watching. Peace.